Oh, backwards. You might say, I get to work backwards? Yeah. Like, for example, if they said to you, how many hours of sleep do you need to belong to the Sleeping Beauty Club? Do we have any sleeping beauties in the room? You guys know what I mean? You're a sleeping beauty. You guys even know what that is? Who's a sleeping beauty in the room? Anybody? We got one. Now, I got to highlight this. I got to be careful here, right? I don't know what color I'm going to use. Should we use pretty in pink? Pretty in pink. So notice what this is. They're asking, how many hours of sleep do you guys need to belong to this special club? What do we mean by that? I have to define the Sleeping Beauty Club because it needs a definition. I'm going to say to you guys, here's what you need to belong to the Sleeping Beauty Club. Maybe you're in the top, what, 5% of sleep hours. Okay. Top what? The top 5%. So I'm going to draw the bell here. And ladies and gentlemen, what do you think they mean by top 5%? Because we're transitioning a little bit. It's still a normal distribution question, but it's a little different. If they say top 5%, what they mean is you have a right tail. And the area here is 5%. And they need to know the hours here. So this is different. This is what I call the backwards situation. So I'm going to say this is backwards. You see, before, all the answers were in percent. Now I'm going to get an X value. I need a threshold value. Sorry, that's not percent. That's 10.5 hours. So there's a certain number of sleep that's going to represent what we call the top 5%. That means it's a right tail, and 5% of the area is in the right tail. This is the backwards situation. So then you go, okay, Mr. Judge, how do you work backwards? And let me go back to my notes so I can at least share with you guys. It is in my notes. My award-winning notes. I'm giving you guys free noodles here, by the way. I hope my bank account grows. Where's my free noodles here? These you guys, your free noodles are happening here. Let's find it. Normal. What is this? Working hell backwards. We're going to talk more about this working backwards. But, you might even use the weekend because you go, oh my God, Mr. Judge, I'm going to use this weekend. I'm going to get I'm graduating this spring and I need to pass this class. Shoot, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to even get started on all this stuff because man, my life depends on it, and I'm going to help myself. You guys know what I mean? Anyway, you guys can take a look. We're going to work on this stuff, but man, you know what a genius is again with IQ scores? Top 4%. You see where we're headed? What about a Mensa? Top what? 2%. So I got to share with you guys how to work backwards. Oh, you're going to use the TI, of course. Oh, we don't want to go here. We'll talk about it, but this is not my discipline. There used to be a term called feeble-minded. Ooh, whatever that is, I don't know what it is. We're more politically correct today. I don't know if we'd want to call somebody feeble, but evidently there's a definition. And it's in the bottom 2%. Ooh. Talk to those psychology people. Feeble? I don't know. What do you even put? A term no longer in use. Anyway. The key to answering all these questions is working backwards. Okay, we don't need this. We don't need this. We don't need tables anymore. That was the old days. We don't need this. We need what, though? Inverse norm? Inverse norm? We need inverse norm. So we're going to go to the TI. Okay? We're going to go to the TI. And where is my screen? Working backwards. You want to know what that means? Sorry. And what do they call it again? In inverse INV norm. INV norm. Okay. Because backwards is like working in inverse or reverse. Okay, so you associate that here. Now, here's the thing though. 5%, how do you represent 5% as a decimal? This is 0.05 as a decimal. You got to be careful here. So when you go to the calculator to work backwards, it's very easy. Second distribution, we look for inverse norm now. Do you guys see inverse norm anywhere? Say yes. It's number 3. Is that true? So you just go to number 3, inverse norm. Easy peasy, hit enter. And then you got this word called area. Didn't we say that shaded area, the top 5%, it's a tail, right? What kind of tail is that? So put 0.5, ladies and gentlemen. What was the mean for that distribution again? 10.5. What's the standard deviation? Okay, good job. Look at that. Now, what kind of tail is this? Is it a left tail? No. Is it a center? No. Is right tail? Hit right. Because this is the top what? Right percent. You guys see the top? It's a right. This is what I'm saying. Right in here. That's what you're telling the calculator. You got a 5% right tail. Easy peasy. Scroll down and hit paste. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you guys see? Go out to the nearest tens here. What number is this? 13.5. Did you guys see that? What do you think that means? That this X value is 13.5. So, in order to belong to the Sleeping Beauty Club, you need to sleep at least what? 13.5 what? Hours, ladies and gentlemen. There it is, right in here. You got to sleep right in here. This is your sleep time. At least. This is a threshold value. 13.5 hours. That's what you're looking for. So the working backwards is what we're going to start to work on next week. But if you want to get started because you're going to be graduating and you go, Mr. Judge, I'm going to be graduating. I'm going to say, okay, good for you. We don't want to be like those sheriffs. Call your family. You guys know what I mean? Tell them to stay home. Remember that story? Woo, don't want to be that. Imagine, Mr. Judge, I'm graduating. Call your family. Yeah, you don't want to go there. That's like, ouch. That's ouch. So you guys might want to think, what's lower, what's upper? You guys know what I mean? It's not that hard. And we're going to start working backwards on Monday. So if you want to start earlier, please do. Because let's find out where. Let's go to the browser. This was statistics lecture number what? There's your notes. Normal distribution. I think we shared that with you. Is that right? Let's see. I'm glad I'm doing that. Statistics lecture number. This is going to be 12. So, where are you at? And remember, what if you need help? What if you need TI help? You got your helper there. People would do it. So maybe that's next after that, right? That's another extra credit assignment. Run 5 miles. Woo. Anyway, so we made it extra credit. Of course, it's PDF stuff. So you turned it in before your test, really. So I gave you guys that early now. And then you guys know, come Wednesday, I'm not going to be here. I'll be on an airplane flying to Sacramento to talk to politicians. So I just want to remind you guys, maybe you want to get started at ASAP and finish it on Wednesday. I have no idea. You guys have some time then. You guys know what I mean? So I sent you guys that stuff early. Anyway, back to our broadcast. Just want to say that to people. All right, we're back to our broadcast of what? Remember we did this question last time? And some of you guys said, oh my God, Mr. Judge, my calculator didn't work the way yours did. My calculator was blank. So I'm going to share with you guys working backwards with your calculator. Some of you guys have to use what's called the default. Okay, so default with inverse norm. I'm going to clear this out. It's actually it's still there. Good morning. So let me go to the TI. Okay. Now, you see this number, this value of x we got last time, which is 13.5. You guys remember this one? See, this is what we're trying to find. We're going to try to find that x value here, okay? And this question was really about the top what? The top 5%. Is that true? Okay. So what we seen last time, what we said, is 5% then is in the tail. Is that true? They're really telling you this is a right tail where 5% is there. Then you're going to have to tell me, to use the default, what's the complement of 5%? What is it? It's simple 95%. Right? You guys know what I'm saying? So the rest, see how we did that? What percent of the ballot shaded exercise? I went through that. What percent of the ballot shaded? And 0.95, ladies and gentlemen, is 95%. Is that right? You guys good with that? All right. Now, do you know your left from your right? Okay. The default focus on area to the left of that number. And you go, what's area to the left of this number? It's that 95% we're talking about. So they're talking about this. You got to know 95%. So I'm going to go to the TI now to express that to you. Now I'm going to change this mode here. I'm going to go to like the TI 84 Plus. Okay, clear that out. So this is kind of like some of you guys have the TI 83, a TI 84 Plus. This one, when you go to the distribution, you can say second distribution inverse norm, number 3, inverse norm. Now you just see area, is that right? It doesn't tell you right, left, or center. It's silent. But they should have put, if I program this, you know what I would say? Area to the left. That's just Mr. Judge. He wants to be clear. So if I program this, I would put area to the left. What was the area to the left again? 95%. Is that right? You guys okay with that? Now, wasn't this a Sleeping Beauty? What was the mean? It's in your notes. What was the mean? 10.5 hours. Good. What's the standard deviation? 1.8 hours. Good. You guys good with that? Look at that. So if you have this calculator, paste that in, and ladies and gentlemen, sure enough, you got the answer. So, moral of the story, inverse norm is always, 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 did I say always? Area to the left of that, the value of interest. Yes, question. If yours has left, you make a choice. You could put area to the left of that value, which is 95%, or you could put area to the right, which is what? 5%. So what I did last time, is not the default. I showed people last time in this calculator. If I go back, right, notice it's already there. It's there still. So we're going to try another one, but you might have done this last time. Second distribution, inverse norm. It's still number 3. See this? I have 5%, but I hit right. If you said, Mr. Judge, could I too do the default? Yes. Now I'm going to hit what? 95% left. You guys good with that? What do I get? Same answer. So I just want to share with you guys, it all depends on your calculator. So let's go back. Let's give you guys another example here. Let's see if you guys can do this, because we're going to be working backwards, ladies and gentlemen. Working forward and backward. So what if I define this? Let's talk about the top 1%. Okay? Draw your bow. Top 1%. Remember, the middle is the mean always. Okay? So the top 1%, this is a right tail. That means 1% is in that tail, and 1% is 0.01. You guys okay with that? What kind of club should we call this if you're in the top 1%? What do you think we call this? What is it? Is it the right tail? It's a right tail, but what should we call the top 1% of sleepers? Let's give them a name, that group. Like the top 5% was the Sleeping Beauties. What would we call the top 1% maybe? I don't know. Is there anything we could call them? What could we call them? Just so you're in the top. Remember, you're over here. You're in the top 1%. It's a right tail. What should we call these people? The Coma Club. Should we call them they're in the coma club? I don't know. That's kind of bad, right? Is that horrible? Coma club? I don't know. I don't know. Let's find the value of hours you got to sleep to be in the coma club, I guess. I don't know. What's that? Let's go to yeah. What should we do? Should we use the default? Remember, you're going to go where? Second distribution, inverse norm. Oh, clear. Second distribution, inverse norm. 0.01, it's the same mean, same standard deviation, but isn't that a right tail? So it's a right tail. And what do you get? If we go out to the nearest whole number, what is that? Let's go out to the tenths. 14.7 hours. Okay? So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. If you sleep at least 14.7 hours, you can join the what? The coma club. Okay, I don't know. Top 1% of sleepers. All right, let's do the default just in case, because there might be people that, what? You don't have that fancy dancy version. What do you have? You got the other version. What's the complement of 1%? 99%. What's the decimal representation? 0.99. You guys okay with that? We're going to use the what? The default and inverse norm. So let's change our calculator. We're going to change this up. We're going to go, okay, what if I had the other one? All right, let's try that one out. We're going to say second distribution, inverse norm, point what? 99. Go and do what? Paste that. Don't you get the same answer, 14.7? So if you have the other calculator that doesn't give you the option of right, left, or center, that means you got to do the left. You have no choice. You got to do the default. And notice you do get the same answer by using the default. So, ladies and gentlemen, 14.7 hours of sleep. If that's the minimum value, you could belong to the what? The coma club. Okay. Now, how about this? This is kind of something else you see. Top 10%. Top 10%. That means 10% is over here. Is that true? All right. So how do you write 10% as a decimal? Is that 0.10? Now, what if you said, Mr. Judge, I don't have that. I have the default. What's the complement for those people that have the default? What's the complement of 10%? 90%. How do you write 90%? 0.90. This is for the default people. Let's verify that these are the same, okay? So we're gonna try this out. I'm not gonna do the default first. Second distribution, inverse norm. Remember, this is going to be 90%. This is area to the right. This is not the default because I have a fancy dancy calculator. Oops, sorry. I made a mistake. It's not 90. It's what? 10. I got a fancy dancy calculator. 10% is in the right tail. Let's paste that in. What do you end up with? Isn't that 12.8 hours? Is that true? 12.8 hours? Okay, now let's go where? Let's go to the what? Right? Let's go to the older calculator, not the non-fancy. We got to get 12.8. So I'm going to go over to, we got to use the default now, right? Just to kind of verify. That's all I'm doing. Notice some of you guys have, under inverse norm, you don't have an option for left, right, and center. So you're going to have to use the default. What's the complement? What's the area to the left again? The 90. Okay, easy peasy. Paste that in. What do you get? 12.8, which is 12.8 again. Ladies and gentlemen, isn't that the same? There you go. There you go, there you go, there you go. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. All right. What do you guys think? Is that okay? What should we call that club? The what? Divas? Or Diva X? Diva Devo? Diva Devo? I don't know. He could be a sleepy guy. So I want you guys to note something here. We also have what's called the bottom what? 10%. The bottom what? 5%. And the bottom 1%. All these bottoms. So I'm going to start again. I'm going to start with the bottom 5% now. Okay, just to kind of, I can do the bottom 10, but I don't want to confuse some people. Some people are going to get confused. Now, remember, this is in terms of sleep. So we can actually find the bottom as well. Bottom 10%. Okay, bottom 5, bottom 1. And these are the less sleepy people. How do you think this would work? Because remember, 5% is really what? 0.05. What kind of tail is this? This is a left tail. So remember, we're working backwards. We're going to try to find the hours of sleep to be in the bottom 5%. So I'm not going to do the default. We're going to do the regular one, the fancy one. We'll do that one first. So if I go to second distribution now, inverse norm, what is this? I'm going to do 0.5. That's 5%. Is that right? But is that in the left tail? Yes. So go back, take a look, draw a picture of the question. Isn't that 5% left tail? Okay. Then what do you guys do? You're pretty much done. Is that right? Paste that in. How many hours of sleep? 7.5 hours. What if you use the fancy dancy version? 7.5 hours. Let's use the fancy dancy. TI-84 plus. Sorry, that was fancy. Let's use the other one now. Okay. Second distribution, inverse norm. Now, what's the area to the left? Do you know your left from your right? Say yes. Area to that left is what? Isn't that the same? So this is also the what? This is also the default. Do you guys agree with me? Area to the left of this number. So you got to know your right. You got to know your left. So it's going to still be, ladies and gentlemen, 5% because it's on the left. Is that right? Mu and standard deviation are the same. Notice, still 7.5 what? Hours. Because the default is always area to the left of that value. Do you guys know, are people registering for summer yet? I think so. How come the schedule's not online? I'm looking at the schedule of classes. Don't they have like a summer schedule to look at? Don't they? Huh? Oh, I just want to see the complete schedule. All right. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, here's what I'm going to have you guys do. I'm going to have you guys try what? Well, we'll try it together first. How about if they give you this time, let's do the bottom what? You guys want to do bottom 1% this time? Bottom 1%. What's the bottom 1%? This is a what? Left tail, the bottom 1%. Okay. So what would you guys do? Notice for the bottom, it doesn't matter. We can use the regular or we can use the other one. Is that true? Because the default for the bottom is the same. So I don't know. Whichever, choose your pick your poison. So I'm going to use again second distribution, okay? Inverse norm, 1%, 0.01, and it's area to the left because it's a left tail. Is that right? You guys good with that? 1% on the left? What do you guys get? 6 point what? Isn't that 6.3 hours? Here we go. Now, let's say, Mr. Judge, what if I have to do the default? Well, guess what? Isn't that the same area to the left? The default is the same. Is that right? So notice in your TI, if you have the other version, I'm gonna go back. 1%, second distribution, inverse norm, 0.01. There you go. Is that 6.3? All right, that's the same. Is that right? 6.3 hours. Now, let's try, what's the last one we haven't done yet? What if they tell you the bottom what? 10%. This is 0.10. The bottom is to the left. The bottom is the left tail always. And again, it's to the left of this desired value we're looking for. But it's also going to be the what? By default, it's area to the left. That's the default. So let's try this out. How do we write down 10%? Is that 0.10? Eight point what? Is that 8.2 hours? Okay, let's do the default. Second distribution, inverse norm here. What's that going to be? 0.10. Isn't that 0.82 hours as well? Okay. There it is. All right. So here's what I'm going to have you guys do yourself. I'm going to switch the setting on you guys here, okay? I'm going to switch the setting. We're going to go to the what? IQ scores. Remember, they are normally distributed. With a mean of what? 100 and a standard deviation of what? 15. Okay. What IQ score represents? Question 1, the top 4%. Question 2, top 2%. Question 3, the third quartile. Question 4, the first quartile. Question 5, the fourth decile. And question 6, the sixth decile. Do you guys remember the meaning of the third quartile, the definition? Nope, that's the what? 75th percentile. Good, good. What about D4? What's that? 40th percentile and the what? 60th. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to give you guys some time to do this, okay? Give you guys some time. See what you get. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's take a look. We need the mean. What's our mean? 100. What's the standard deviation? 15. Mu is 100. Sigma is what? 15. So for question 1, they say the top what? 4%. 100. What's this? Here's my X. Top 4%. How do you write 4%? 0.4. This is 0.4 as a what? This is a right tail. Is that true? Okay. You guys want to do the default? Which one do you want to do? Okay, this is a right tail. Is that true? So 4%, isn't that 0.4? Okay, what's the mean? 100. Standard deviation is going to be what? 15, and that's on the what again? The right. Is that right? What does that give you? Is that 100? Let's go out to the nearest whole number here, okay? Because IQ scores are whole numbers. So this is going to be what? 126. So, ladies and gentlemen, 126. Is that easy peasy? Is that what you guys got? Okay. Now, I'm not going to do it, but those of you guys that have the default, what would you guys have to do for the default? What's the default? What's the complement of 4%? Isn't that 96%? That's point what? 96. Just kind of throw that out there. You guys can use the default in your calculator. Now, let's look at number 2. What is number 2? The top what? Top 2%. Isn't 2% 0.02? Is that right? Second distribution, inverse norm, number 3. We're going to change that to 0.02. It's still a right tail. Is that true? What do you guys get? Let's go to the nearest whole number. What's that going to be? Is that 131? $131. Okay, if you have the default, what's the complement? 98%, and that's 0.98, and that's for the what? For your default. Is that right? Number 3. What's number 3? The third quartile. The third quartile for number 3. Now, this is a question that comes up working backwards. Okay, so the third quartile, when they say Q3, which is the same as P75, okay? Where is that going to be? How do quartiles work, if you guys recall? Q1, what's this? Q2, what is this? Q3, what percent is in each? 25%, 25%, 25%, 25%. Okay, so how do we get this 75%? Right? 25, 25, 25. Is that true? So what would I do? I have to do something. What do you think I would do? What could you do? We can use for Q3, we can use this as 75%, right? 75% is below that value. Would you guys agree with that? Because it's 25, 25, and 25. So here, if I say to you, second distribution, inverse norm, 75% of the data, which would I use? Left, right, or center? Left. Is that true? I'd have to use the left. Is that right? And you say, why? Because isn't 75% on the left there? And what number is this? This is number what? What's this to the nearest tenth? Is that 110? So, ladies and gentlemen, there you go, 110. Now, that happens to be, if you said to me, what if I want to use the default here? Well, that would be the same. Is that true? Because it's area to the left of that value. So it's also the same thing here. So that's number 3. So how would you do number 4? Because it says, what's number 4? Q1 is number 4. Right? Which one is this? Number 4. Now, Q1 is right here, isn't it? Which is the same as the what? As the default. So I'm going to go to the calculator. I hit what? Second distribution, inverse norm. Isn't that 25%? Which one do I use? Left, right, or center? Left. Why left? Let's go back. That value is about 90 to the nearest tenth. Is that true? So what's this going to be here? 90. Is that right? 25% of the bell. All right, let's take a look over here now. Let's take a look here. What's question number 5? What's number 5 now? And by the way, just to kind of mention to you, the default is also the same, right? Because the default is always area to the what? To the left. Number 5 is what? D4, the 4th decile, which is the 40th percentile. So let's look at this here, 40th percentile, right? So when they say here, I think this is number what? 5, is that right? So where would D4 be at 40th percentile? Right? If the 50th percentile is right here, because that is what? The second quartile. Where do you think 40th percentile would be? To the left? Right? Isn't this going to be that D4? And then 40% of the bell is right here. Is that true? So that would be 40%, ladies and gentlemen. And how do you write 40%? 0.40 here. And that happens to also be the what? The default, just so you guys know. Is that right? So the definition of decile gets applied here. So we got second distribution inverse norm. Isn't that 40% here? And that's on the left. Is that true? Okay, 40% is on the left. What's this number? So the nearest whole number, what's that going to be? Is that 96? There you go, ladies and gentlemen, 96. Compare that to number 6, because you say, what's number 6? Number 6 is the 60th percentile. Is that true? So D6, the 6th decile, was the 60th percentile. So this is 10 point, I'm sorry, it's 100. I apologize. And remember, that's where the middle is. That's P50. So, ladies and gentlemen, P60 is going to be to the right. Now, that means that the area to the left of this is 60%. Okay? 60% is 0.60. So in the TI, we have what? Second distribution, inverse norm, point what? 60, still area to the left. What do you get? So the nearest whole number, what's that going to be? 100 and what? 4. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. So take a look. This here, again, to remind people, area to the left is that default here. So we've worked backwards today, ladies and gentlemen, and it's important to be able to do what? To do both. Okay, so if you look at some of those questions, I might even change that study guide a little bit when I get home. I'm not sure because my computer's down, my home computer. Isn't that crazy? My home computer, my laptop's working, but my home computer's down, so I have to fix that. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, take care, stay safe, and get started on the study guide and your homework. And again, remember, this is a normal distribution, so let me share with you guys really quick. I think I should have normal distribution homework there, right? Yes, all of them. Statistics lecture 12 here. So if you get stuck, let's say you get stuck Right over here. Let's say you get stuck. Oops, this is that worksheet. Let's say you get stuck. What could you guys do? Hit the what? Hit the tutor and the TI. You got a TI tutor. And so, you know, I went over the questions on the homework using that TI. Oops, where is it? Right here. There you guys go. All right, take care. Stay safe. We'll see you guys when. See you guys later.